Hi and welcome back to the Thomann studio and recording channel. I have a very special video for you today because it's the festive season, we are at the end of the year, and I wanted to give you something really special. Now I know that when I film from this room you can spot that other room. Now that other room is the mixing and mastering room, and today I want to give you a tour of that room because I love it and because it's one of my favorite rooms in the studios. I invite you to subscribe to this channel by hitting that subscribe button and also the bell notification so that you don't miss out. And having said that, come with me in the mixing and mastering room. This is it. It took me quite a while to put this together. You know, not only the different pieces of tech that we use, but also the way we connect it and the way we control it. I'm gonna just quickly talk to you through what the signal path looks like. So we have Cubase, that's our main software that we use here. This is outputted by the Orion HD converter. This is an Antelope audio, and it gives you 32 outs and 32 ins, which we need because basically all these pieces of gear need their own input and output, and so that interface takes care of that. The first port of call is our summing mixer because, you know, summing in the box is cool, but summing outside the box is better. So from the output, we go inside the Fat Bastard. It's a thermionic culture piece, and it's a tube summing mixer. And not only does summing, but it also does equalization and saturation with this knob. Now, these three knobs, 1, 2, and 3, are possibly the most significant in the entire rig. Because of how good they sound and because of how often we use them. Let me demonstrate it quickly for you, okay? So we're going from Cubase inside of the Fat Bastard, and then we're coming back into Cubase. Here's a track that I've done earlier with the Sultan Programmer 24. It's an analog auto arranger from the 80s. Sounds pretty funky. Sounds like this. So check out what the Fat Bastard can do. You ready? All right, top lifts. Bass lifts. Top lifts. So, I mean, I hope you realize how natural this equalizer feels. I mean, it's a colorful equalizer. This is not for correction. This is this is for tone, right? So if you need that sort of sparkle up there, the lift control for the top on the Fat Bastard is absolutely stellar. Now I'm going to show you the attitude control. Check out what this does, yeah? All right. I mean, if you can hear past the change in volume, you realize the amount of good saturation that this control provides, and you know, it makes any track basically sound, you know, full of good texture and full of nice harmonics. And I mean, of course, these are all boutique pieces that are quite expensive, and you know, for good reason, because they give you such an amazing sound. Every other piece that it's not mastering, like the stressor compressors or the sonic maximizer, which we keep on their own independent input and outputs, Besides that, we have a mastering chain, which is controlled by connector. Let me show you connector. It's this piece right here. All right. So this, in actual facts, is a digitally controlled analog patch bay. So this means that I can connect all of the pieces of gear to this box and have them in any combination in series. I can decide to have one piece of gear after another or invert them through a control that's on the computer. Let me show you that. Here's the connector controller. As you can see right now, I am using the Shadow Hills mastering compressor for it, and I can equally decide to have the Phoenix here and the GML here, or maybe the other way around, yeah? Or maybe like this. I can bypass one piece and bypass another, or even just solo another. So this obviously opens up to a huge amount of flexibility. Let me just give you the Shadow Hills mastering compressor, and I'm gonna demonstrate that. It's this piece. It's in the center because it's probably the most important piece that we have here, and certainly one that we use a lot. This compressor makes any record sound finished. For lack of a better explanation. Just listen to it, all right? I'm gonna have it out, and then I'm gonna pop it in. All right, you know what? Let me crank this up a bit more so that you can really appreciate the sound. Before and after. Before and after. Right? I know. I know. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's very expensive, and it is for a reason. I really, honestly think that this is the best sounding compressor that I've ever used, and I'm so lucky that I actually own one. So, but you know, equally on this rig, you can choose other compressors. Let's see what we've got here. How about if we go for the, this we can remove it altogether. Let's try the Phoenix, all right? This is it, the Phoenix. Oops, sorry. I mean, obviously, this is a completely different sound to the Shadow Hills mastering compressor. The Phoenix, for one, is a valve unit. I mean, it can be colorful, but it's still, you know, very, very gentle. You know, it's like a gentleman. The Shadow Hills mastering compressor can be a killer. If you use it like on drums, if you use it on you know, percussive elements, it's really, really powerful. Whilst the Phoenix is a little bit more gentle, it works great on acoustic music, orchestras, jazz, perfect for jazz, acoustic music in general. Well, let me show you another interesting piece of gear, which is this one. So now this is a 1/4-inch Tudor master recorder. Basically, at the time that these guys were out, they were the best sounding recorders. We would use them for, recording masters, for recording mixes. This specific unit comes from BBC Manchester. So I think it was used at the BBC World Service. And I also have a bunch of tapes below here, and some of this, it came with tapes, and I've got some BBC World Radio tapes in here, along with mine. It's, very, very cool. Well, here it is. You may say, why do you use tape in this day and age? Well, number one, sometimes we get to remaster old tapes, but especially I like to use this as a plugin, like a one preset plugin. Actually, no, two presets, because you got 7.5 or 15-inch speed, and that changes the sound a little bit. But yeah, basically we go inside of this machine, we come back out of this machine and record the resulting sound, so that we get a little bit of that tape goodness that's so lovely. So this is a piece of mechanical engineering that's like no others. Check out. I mean, there are no digital elements in this machine. It's everything analog. So you can imagine how complex this is. I mean, this tape is always kept at the correct tension, and that's done completely mechanically. So this is a beauty, and I love this piece. And here we got old formats. So some of the work that we do is catalog work. So some record labels come to us with old tapes, and they want to restore them. They want to update them for today's technical requirements. So we have a DAT tape here, and then we got a Tascam tape recorder. This is the best tape recorder, the last best tape recorder that's ever been made, because Tascam stopped doing them, and this is the very last model that they did. It's got mechanical coupling of the volume, so this is quite interesting. And yeah, it sounds pretty good. I want to spend a little bit of time on the monitoring system, because I know that that's a question that we get asked a lot. So to us, mastering a lot of times means just to make sure that the music sounds good on different systems. So we have a collection of 4 speakers at the moment. The way we can monitor different speakers is by using this controller. It's the R4S, and this basically controls the Satori, which is this unit right here. The Satori is a monitoring system that basically allows you to select different monitors, different inputs, and it works like this. So here we've got the Neumanns. These are the 120s. These are the 120s, I believe they're called. And then we've got the PSI audio. We've got the Eve SC305. And then we've got the Neumann, the 80s, right? So we know these monitors really, really well, and we like to, switch between different ones so that we make sure that the sound is consistent from one to the next. Another important bit is this. I'm gonna just pull it up for you, yeah? Yep. See this? This is the sub. This is how we make sure that whatever is below, 100, probably below 80, is represented correctly. So we keep it down here, and it's a really nice piece from Thomann again, and obviously you know, it sounds as good as you can imagine. So we keep this down here. Also, we have had different speakers. Sometimes we rotate speakers depending on the project. We also have these N stands that are always at the ready. Obviously, you must know the N stands. These have been a staple for all the music that's been produced in the 80s, in the 90s, and the noughties, and then, you know, they kind of went a little bit out of fashion, but they still sound amazing. So I love them. Cool. So what else can I say about this room? One of the things that I have really put attention to was the way I shaped this room. If you notice, this room has slanted walls. Why? Because if you put walls straight like this, the sound keeps on bouncing from wall to the other. But if you keep them slanted like this, then the sound gets dissipated. So this room was specifically built with that in mind. And obviously we've got quite a bit of sound treatment. These panels are quite good. I love them. They are from GK Acoustics. Up here we have a false ceiling that is acoustically treated as well. These ones are from Rockphone. And of course, you know, the whole studio is designed to have the best possible sound given the shape of this facility. The last thing that I should mention is the monitoring system. Here we've got this decibel monitoring system. You know, we can measure LUFS, we can measure volume. This is phase correlation, and here we are monitoring mid-side. So the one in the back is the mono information, the one in the front is the stereo information. And then finally, we have this Foreno, which is a fantastic unit, and this is probably the mirror that I look at the most, because you know, it's always in the back of my view, because that tells me what's actually going on with the level of the music. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this little tour. If you have any questions about this room, you're most welcome to leave a comment here below, and I will try to answer it. So otherwise, I really hope you had a fantastic year, and I wish you an even better year with 2022. Is it 2022, right? 2022. So hope you're having a great time and making great music. I love you, and I wish you all the best. Happy New Year.